This story is a little strange. I'm not sure if I'm a good enough writer to convey to all of you how unnerving it actually was. I was genuinely horrified at the moment, but luckily I didn't have any long-term effects other than a weird story that I like to tell people. Every year, my hometown does this event called Springfest. It's just this weekend event where vendors come to sell food, crafts, clothes, beer, and all sorts of things. My town is sort of small, so this festival is like the talk of the town, and everyone in town attends. Every night, which is just Friday and Saturday night, they have live music, and honestly, it's a pretty cool event. When I was a kid, I used to love to go, and I'd hang out with my friends from school, and it was a cool place to talk to the girls that we all had crushes on. As an adult, it was just as cool. I love to go and hang out with friends and just have a nice time doing something that's different and not the same old thing. In a weird twist of fate, my aunt and uncle ended up taking over the event planning for the entire Springfest. They asked if I would mind helping at the end of the night, cleaning the area and getting it ready for the next day, and then just coming in on Saturday and Sunday morning to get everything ready for the day. I love my aunt and uncle, so of course I didn't mind, and I didn't have to work during the festival, which was cool. They just wanted my help closing everything down. On Friday night, I attended the festival and was hanging out with a couple of my old friends from high school whom I hadn't seen in years. Toward the end of the night, when the band finished playing, I started to get a jump on the cleaning while the last of the people there started to trickle out of the festival. My uncle gave me an envelope with cash in it to give to the band that had just finished performing and asked if I could just pay the guy so he could take care of something else. Of course, that wasn't a problem, so I took the envelope and approached the band. I gave them the money and we chatted for a few minutes about nothing special. They were just cool guys and super easy to talk to. I said bye to the band, walked away, and started to wipe down some tables. Within minutes, you could tell the place emptied out. The loud and ecstatic atmosphere became quiet in no time at all. Now, in the corner of my vision, I thought I could see someone watching me. I turned around, and to my surprise, it was this really beautiful woman. She was looking at me and smiling. Now, I can be a bit awkward, so I didn't really know what to do, so I just waved and asked if she needed anything. She waved back and somehow smiled even bigger than she already was. In an excited voice, she said, "Hey, cutie, what are you still doing here?" In typical me fashion, I just looked awkwardly around and said, cleaning tables?" I know, I'm smooth. And she giggled and approached me. With the lights on under the tent that I was standing, I could see the woman much clearer now. She was indeed gorgeous, and if I had to guess, significantly older than me. I was 22 years old at the time, and I would say this woman was at least 45, if not older. Thankfully, she was not awkward at all and easy to talk to. I thought for sure at the beginning of this exchange that it was going to just be some woman that maybe drank too much, but she didn't seem under the influence at all. She started to ask me all sorts of questions about what I did for a living, what I did for fun, how I knew the band, and all sorts of things like that. We ended up talking for hours, actually, and she finally said that she had to go, and we exchanged phone numbers. I was giddy. I didn't have a ton of experience with women, and I had zero experience with a woman this age. I didn't want to make a fool of myself. Later that night when I got home, I noticed that she had already texted me, and it dawned on me that I never got her name. Another smooth move for me. The text came through at about 1:47 a.m. and it said, "Hey cutie, I love talking to you tonight. Maybe tomorrow night we can grab a drink at Springfest and spend some time together." My heart was racing, and I was thrilled. We texted back and forth for a while, and I tried to figure out how to sneak in a text asking for her name, but given the direction of the conversation, it felt out of place, and I didn't want to be weird. I realized now that it was not that weird to ask, but back then I was a textbook overthinker. The last message that she sent me was at 4:01 a.m. and said, "I can't wait until tomorrow. I'm excited to see you. Oh, and by the way, bring an overnight bag with you." Then she had a kiss emoji to end the text. I woke up at 7:30 in the morning and made my way to the festival to meet my aunt and uncle and get set up for the day. They told me once we got set up that I could leave until the evening, but I planned on hanging out there all day and night anyway. And what a beautiful day this was. It was nearly 70 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. I felt like I was floating all day long thinking about seeing the woman from the previous night. In the early afternoon, I texted her and asked when she was coming to the festival, and I never got a text back. At 7:30, I texted her again and just said, "Looking forward to tonight." But again, I didn't get a response. As the night progressed, it was clear that she wasn't coming. The band was almost done with their set for the night, and people started to shuffle out. I was bummed, but figured it was for the best. Shortly after midnight, I was wiping down the tables, and that's when I noticed the woman standing there. She didn't look the same as the night before. She looked angry. I asked if she was okay, and she just stood there staring at me. She started to approach me slowly with both hands behind her back. When she was only a few feet away, she finally spoke up and said, "You lied to me. You said you knew the band." I was so confused. I didn't know what to say. Again, for context, what I told her that night before was that the band were cool guys and I was paying them for my uncle. I never once told her that I knew them on a personal level. As I stood there in silence, she said, "I thought that they would be here tonight, but they weren't. You're a liar." At this point, she had completely lost me. Again, I never said anything like that. That band wasn't even performing tonight. It was a different band each night. I tried to apologize, and she began to scream in my face. She didn't even say any words, just this weird, loud, bellowing scream. I basically just turned around and walked away, embarrassed. I didn't know what to do or what to say, and clearly this woman just wasn't all there. As I walked away, she yelled, "Get back here, liar!" When I turned around, she tried to hit me with some sort of wooden object. I put my arms up, and thankfully I'm kind of a bigger guy, so the board broke over my arms. Instead of doing anything I would regret, I just turned back around and started to run to my car. I started to drive away and saw the woman running after my car. I didn't take any action, although in hindsight I probably should have. Now the next day, Sunday, the festival only went till about 6 p.m. I told my aunt that I would come and help set up, but I wasn't feeling well at all, and I couldn't really tear anything down with them. The truth was, I just didn't want to potentially see that woman again. I still feel like the whole experience was just so surreal from yesterday. When I got there, I was surprised to see the lead singer from the band from Friday night. He confronted me and he looked upset. In a mellow and almost embarrassed voice, he said, "Hey dude, I'm so sorry about Pam. It's my ex-girlfriend, and let's just say she's not doing very well. She tried to attack me several years ago, and I have a restraining order against her. She often tries to contact people I know to make me jealous or something. I don't even know, honestly. But she contacted one of my bandmates, and she was going to do something crazy to the kid at the festival, I guess. I knew I recognized the last name when I was talking to him. After doing some talking with my buddy, I figured they were talking about you." I'm a laid-back guy, so I didn't take any action about it and just told the guy that everything was all right and no harm was done. I'm not sure if the guy from the band did anything to really take action against this woman, but at least on my end, this is the last time anything regarding this event happened. I seriously hope this poor woman got some help. As I stated, this is the strangest thing that's ever happened to me, and it really was scary at that moment. If you find yourself thinking it wasn't scary, try putting yourself in my shoes and tell me the thought of an angry and heartbroken person attacking you isn't not only confusing, it's terrifying. If you enjoyed this scary story, listen to thousands more, either over on the Let's Read YouTube channel or podcast.